Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Alright, hey, hi, hello. As y'all can see, I'm in a very flowery mood today and I look as if I have just emerged in a wreath of roses from a flower garden. I could be Persephone. No, I can't because she's gorgeous. But here I am, all decked out in flowers, and that is because I have made baklava. And those of you who have tasted baklava will know that it is a very floral, very sweet, very delightful Middle Eastern sweet that is made up of filo pastry. Now I have done that because, as those of you who watched my previous cheese pie video would know, I have a lot of filo pastry left, and sadly I haven't even finished it with this baklava, which means at some point I will have to make a strudel. More on that another time. Right now we're gonna be talking about baklava. Now baklava is a sweet that I don't actually eat a lot, but it is something that I'm always very visually drawn to because it's just so pretty. Like, you have all the sharp greenness from the pistachios, and occasionally the makers of baklava sprinkle over some rose petals. There's something about it that is just so deliciously rich. A small piece of it really goes a long way. So if you're in need of something sweet during tea time that's gonna make you feel utterly blessed and happy to be alive, baklava is something that is really good to keep around. Although I don't think my tray is gonna last very long in this house, but we'll see about that. There is this shop in a mall near us that I constantly walk past. One time my sister was visiting from Singapore and we were walking past that shop and she was like, oh, let's get baklava. So we ended up actually getting some baklava, but it was quite disappointing and we didn't finish it. I'm not quite sure how the methods differ, and far be it from me to insinuate that that's not authentic baklava. I mean, what do I know? I'm Chinese. But I do think how fresh the pastry is plays a lot into it, because like if it's fresh from the oven, in your own home, you immediately get to taste it. The nature of the pastry doesn't really change so much. So there is something wonderful about being able to pull a tray of baklava fresh from the fridge and like sort of peel off the crispy edges of it. And you know, I think that definitely plays a lot into how good baklava is. So if you haven't tasted it, or if you think store-bought baklava isn't really your kind of thing, you should try it out. It's really easy to make. I will link the recipe that I used in the comments below, and you should definitely try it out. Before we go check out how exactly I made this batch of baklava in the kitchen, I would like to ask those of you who haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and help me grow. If you enjoy what I'm doing, please leave a comment, let me know what you think. And if you would like me to try out something, maybe your favorite food or something from your culture, let me know in the comments and I will do my best to accommodate. Until then, a like, a follow, a share, anything like that would really help. So please do if you haven't already. Now let's go to the fun part and get to the kitchen. Okay, so I think the baklava is really, really good and I like it this way. I especially love the acidity from the lemon juice and the sweetness from the orange peel. But one thing I will come out and say I messed up with, as one does, is that I thought I would have enough time to make the baklava syrup after I had put the pastry into the oven, and as y'all can see, that obviously didn't pan out the way I wanted it to, because you know, the baklava really cooked a lot faster than I expected it would. The recipe said that it would take about 40 minutes, but I suspect because I halved the batch, it sort of took a lot faster. So between all the filming and the prepping and the finding the right angles on the camera and trying to, like, you know, the baklava was done and I hadn't even put the syrup on to cook it. So that was a doozy, which is why I ended up with like the ice cubes and all, trying to cool the syrup down, because the recipe does say that the syrup needs to be cool and the baklava needs to be hot when you pour it in. So if you mess up the same way I did, that's a good way that you could use to cool down your syrup in a shorter amount of time. So yeah, I really like this baklava recipe, but I think I'm gonna have to make some tweaks. I probably did end up adding a bit too much of the syrup, so it didn't end up as crisp as I would have wanted it to be. Or maybe I was just impatient and cut into it too soon. You know how like when you roast a chicken and you don't let it rest and then you cut into it and then suddenly it's dry even though it should be moist and tender? Yeah. So let me know if y'all try the recipe and let me know what you find. Let me know if there are any improvements that I can make to my baklava. Yeah, so let me know what you think in the comments. I'll be very, very happy to hear what you have to say. Until then, thank you all so much for watching this and I hope to see y'all again next time. Bye!